As The Walking Dead nears the much anticipated Season 6 finale, and most importantly, the arrival of probably the most villainous character The Walking Dead has ever seen, Negan, I decided to break down the cast of The Walking Dead and try to figure out who Negan will kill in his season finale appearance. Of course, I will be referencing certain events in the comics, so I cannot stress this enough, but spoilers, 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 and spoilers. I would also like to add that this is strictly my own opinion, and I am by no means right about any of this. Now that I got that out of the way, let's get started. Coming in at number 10 is Jesus himself, or for all of you religious viewers who take offense to his nickname, Paul Monroe. Jesus has dealt with Negan before, and hell, he does not like the man. The only reason I put Jesus on this list at all is because Negan knows Jesus, and he knows what Jesus is capable of. Negan can get rid of Jesus and therefore not have to worry about the potential threat that he is. Jesus' abilities are only hinted at in his brief appearances on the show, but for a character that is detrimental to the plot advancement of the show, I cannot foresee Jesus meeting his fate to that bitch of a bat, Lucille. Coming in at number 9 we have Heath, insert last name if you know it because I certainly don't. Heath is an Alexandrian who definitely deserves more screen time, and for his character to be developed in full. The only reason Heath made the list is because I wanted to do a top 10, not a top 5, and the writers of The Walking Dead have been known to screw us out of a good character in the show, cough, cough, Andrea. I highly doubt that Negan would kill Heath, because although Negan is cruel and, well, for lack of better words, evil, he has a rule not to kill anyone that isn't white for fear of being racist. For all of you Heath fans, I sincerely think that Heath is safe. At number 8 we have Maggie Green. Yes, I said it, Maggie Green. The Walking Dead has been teasing Glenn's death from the moment he picked up that baseball bat in Shire Wilt's estate. Oh, let's face it, it was Wiltshire's estate, and I don't know why they just couldn't use the original name. With all the teasing of Glenn and Lucille meeting in an unpleasant way, how insanely crazy would it be if Maggie was the one to die instead? The situation would still leave the same impact as it did when Glenn got his head smashed in Volume 17, Something to Fear, except it would actually be even more upsetting considering that Maggie is pregnant. The only reason I could see this route not taking place is because Maggie is a woman and Negan has a rule against that too, so I'd say Maggie is relatively safe. At number 7 we have a two-way tie between Aaron and Eric. Now I sincerely hope that neither of these characters has to go so soon, but I can see either one of them being present when Negan starts the selection process. Personally, I love Aaron. He and Jesus are very similar and I hope they never die. But I can see the death of either loved one as a motivational push towards wanting Negan dead. I just hope I'm wrong, and let's face it, I tend to be wrong a lot. At number 6 we have Carol Peltier, or however the fuck you pronounce that last name. Anyways, Carol has drastically changed from the Carol we all know and hated from the comics. Let's face it, she was weird. Carol survived the prison, she obviously doesn't in the comics though. So ever since then, she has been fair game to replace someone else's death. However, in Season 6, we have her and Morgan battling philosophies, and this could spark an interesting arc of conflict that ultimately can be resolved by bashing one of their heads in. The only thing saving Carol is the fact that, like Maggie, Carol is a female also. So since I mentioned him already, I felt that these two characters should go in tandem. At number 5 we have Morgan Jones. In reference to my earlier statement all of 15 seconds ago, these two philosophical viewpoints can ultimately result in the death of one side. However, Morgan is on the side that will probably lose. Just imagine, Negan is playing his eeny meeny miny mo game, and Morgan interrupts him to tell him that all life is precious. Negan will bash in Morgan's head before he can even finish the sentence. Negan will obviously side with Carol, and this is why Morgan faces a huge obstacle as we near the end of the season. Realizing that not all life is precious, or realize that life isn't so precious when yours gets taken by a deranged villain with a baseball bat that he, and I quote, occasionally rubs his dick on. At number 4 we have Spencer Monroe, the last remaining Monroe of Alexandria. We've seen that Spencer is both reckless and unstable, whether it be grappling over a sea of walkers, or walking around the woods helplessly looking for his walker mama. Spencer seems like he is too far gone. See what I did there? Ha ha ha. God, I'm lonely. It would be a shame to see the Monroe legacy meet his demise at the hands of Negan, but after all, Negan does end up killing Spencer in the comics, just at a different time. Now we get to the best candidates, the most thought of to die by the hands of Negan in the season finale. At number 3 we have Daryl Dixon. Daryl is most people's number 1 choice to meet his demise in the season finale, but not me. There have been speculations that the writers are hinting to him being the one to die, but I think it is a load of horseshit. Here are some subtle reasons why. 1. He's The Walking Dead's fucking money man. He is on every poster, coffee mug, t-shirt, and fucking book bag The Walking Dead has produced. 2. He is a beloved character, but although it would be heartbreaking to see him die, he still has so much more to offer the show. And finally 3. He doesn't exist in the comic books. They can use him for something way bigger than death fodder. When Dwight is struggling with leading the Saviors, Daryl can swoop in and command them. I know Daryl is up very high on my list, and I acknowledge that he is a prime candidate to die in the season finale. I just think there is someone more suited for the death. At number 2, yes, number 2, we have Glenn Reed. Glenn is also most people's number 1, but of course, I must stick out again. Glenn has already survived a nearly impossible death, and in the mid-season premiere, he almost sacrificed himself for Maggie. It just seems like he has escaped death too many times to escape Negan. Another question I would like to pose is, what if the show writers want us to speculate that Glenn won't die to Negan, and then have Negan bash in his head anyway? I think that is one death that they can pull straight out of the comic, but I hope we don't have to part with Glenn just yet. Finally, the number one choice of mine to die by Negan in the season finale, Rick Grimes himself. I got you there, didn't I? The real number one is Sergeant Abraham Ford, Mr. Mother Dick himself. For those of you who don't exactly know, or maybe that you forgot, Abraham also died in Volume 17, Something to Fear. He died prior to Glenn, but writer of the graphic novel Robert Kirkman has come out and said that he regrets killing off Abraham so soon. However, that doesn't make me think that Abraham is at all safe from Negan. In fact, he is my number one choice for what I like to believe are good reasons. As of episode 11, Abraham realizes that he wants to settle down and have kids, with Sasha, might I add. He lost his necklace that Rosita made for him at the hilltop for a reason. Now that Abraham has figured out his life, it almost means certain death on the show. My second reason would be that Abraham and Negan in the same area would be a testosterone-filled profanity bonanza. And yes, I just voluntarily used the word bonanza. Negan would love to make an example out of the ginger-haired American muscle, and bashing his head in with a bat would be the best way to do it. If Negan can kill Abraham, there is no limit on who he can't kill. Just imagine if between now and the season finale, Abraham and Sasha are going to start a family, but Abraham is killed by Negan. The same effects brought on to pregnant Maggie by the death of her love Glenn would be undoubtedly transferred onto Sasha. Just think about it. It makes so much sense to me. And there we have it, all 10 people on the list. If you enjoyed my speculations, or if you didn't, make sure to leave a like or dislike on the video, and also leave who you think Negan will kill in his grand appearance down below in the comments. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and be sure to stick around for more speculation videos and breakdowns of all things Walking Dead.